day in Davos against the backdrop of big news from back home. The 11th hour on a Thursday night begins now. And good evening once again from our NBC News headquarters here in New York. Day 371 of the Trump administration, and we have breaking news tonight, first reported by the New York Times, later confirmed here by our own Kristen Welker, and it involves the president and special counsel Robert Mueller. The Times broke the story that Donald Trump ordered Robert Mueller fired but backed off. This was about a month after he had been appointed special counsel. The story is by New York Times reporters Maggie Haberman and Michael Schmidt. Michael is standing by to talk with us, and in the story they write there is this, quote, President Trump ordered the firing last June of Robert Mueller, according to 4 people told of the matter, but ultimately backed down after the White House counsel threatened to resign rather than carry out the directive. The West Wing confrontation marks the first time Mr. Trump is known to have tried to fire the special counsel. Mr. Mueller learned about the episode in recent months as his investigators interviewed current and former senior White House officials in his inquiry into whether the president obstructed justice. After receiving the president's order to fire Mr. Mueller, the White House counsel, Donald McGahn, refused to ask the Justice Department to dismiss the special counsel, saying he would quit instead. Quote, Mr. McGahn disagreed with the president's case. He also told senior White House officials that firing Mr. Mueller would have a catastrophic effect on Mr. Trump's presidency and would incite more questions about whether the White House was trying to obstruct the Russia investigation. Mr. McGahn also told White House officials that Mr. Trump would not follow through on the dismissal on his own. The president then backed off. We want to remind you now of what the president said when he was asked about Mueller back in August.
Mr. President, have you thought about or considered leading to the dismissal of the special counsel? Or is there anything that Bob Mueller could do that you would send you in that direction?
I haven't given it any thought. I mean, I've been reading about it from you people. You say, oh, I'm going to dismiss him. No, I'm not dismissing anybody.
And tonight's reporting comes one day after the president expressed his willingness, bordering on eagerness, to speak with the special counsel. Here was the president just last night.
Are you going to talk to Mueller?
I'm looking forward to it, actually. I would do it under oath, yeah. Absolutely.
No, I would do it. Do you think Robert Mueller will be fair to you in this larger investigation?
We're going to find out.
Has Mueller actually are you concerned about it?
Because here's what we'll say, and everybody says, no collusion. There's no collusion. Now they're saying, oh, well, did he fight back?
But
you fight back.
What is collusion?
Sir, you fight back, John. You fight back. Oh, it's obstruction. So here's the thing. I hope so.
Joining us by phone tonight, one half of the byline that broke this story, Michael Schmidt, New York Times Washington correspondent and MSNBC contributor who was with us here in the studio earlier this week. Michael, walk me through your reporting, starting at this initial point. Trump's initial fury apparently comes after he learns that the investigation has followed a prong of obstruction of justice. You also make a point to say the first known attempt, my wording and not yours, that the president tried to fire Mueller. I'll start there. Were there others that you're aware of?